big round of applause to Cerulean. This is pretty freaking cool, right? Like, this is really, really neat. This is a community-supported legal education channel. Find out how you can support our mission at sponsors.org/u/lawfulmasses. I'm pleased to be announcing a Patreon competitor. We have a new site where you can support creators. Right now, the site is going to be limited to a few choice creators, but it will be quickly expanded as soon as we are sure that our systems are robust and can handle your traffic. You know, we're fixing errors here and there. So it's very much in a sort of new release stage or early access stage. I'm told it's not a beta. We did the beta already, but very much in a new stage of existence. And this is sponsus.org, SPONSUS, sort of a bastardization of sponsor us. So sponsus.org, and you can visit this site now. It is live. It has been created by none other than your favorite developer, Cerulean, who has worked with our channel for a few years now. Our channel has not been, so I just want to make this clear how much of an effort this has been by Cerulean. He's done this more or less by himself. I have supported the effort as in a friendly way. You know, your friend would say, go for it. Yes, you can do it. We haven't given financial support. I haven't told him what to do. I haven't really told him what I wanted or anything. This wasn't for me. But it was motivated by the things Patreon has done that have affected our channel. Patreon, for example, changed the way that they charge your card in December 2017 and didn't ask anybody, including one of their biggest creators, Philly D. And all of a sudden, people who had donated $1 found an extra like 30 or 40 cents charge or something, and people were getting very upset because they were getting this charge for every single thing. Well, this platform does not have these problems. This platform is run by this community, by Cerulean, and we will be involved, I'm sure, through, you know, in supporting him and supporting the community. So this is a grassroots, not sponsored effort. This is no major corporation is behind this. There is no ulterior motive. This is a grassroots effort to provide a platform where you can support creators that is less controlled than Patreon. Now, there's still issues because Patreon has some of the issues they have because they have to go through payment processors, and payment processors have rules. Sponsus is using Stripe, and Stripe has at least the best rules that we've been able to find. So it's more lenient than Patreon, but it still has what they consider to be high-risk transactions. And you'll still need to deal with Stripe if you are, I'll put it this way, if you have been marginalized by these rules. I don't agree with you being marginalized by these rules. I think adult content is fine. I think edgy content is fine. I think comedy is fine. But I think we can all agree that there's some point where it does cross some kind of line. And we aren't going to be censoring people, but Stripe may. And if you have trouble gaining access to a Stripe account, this Sponsus effort might not help you because we go through Stripe. That aside, we think that the rules for Stripe are at least more lenient than Patreon, and you'll be able to talk to Stripe. We read their terms and things, and they said you can contact us and work with Stripe. Contact us as in Stripe. You can contact Stripe and work with Stripe as far as getting approval for an account that is in one of their categories of high risk. If you have been affected by that, you'll want to read through that and talk to Stripe first. But assuming that you can be supported by Stripe or your processing can be done by Stripe, then this platform is able to be used by you. So I thought we should go over this for a moment. Our payment systems are going live tomorrow, or I don't know, when was this posted? A day ago. So that's today. If you wish to enroll for this phased rollout of the payment system, contact Cerulean directly on Discord. Cerulean #7014. Cerulean #7014 on Discord, and he will put you into the queue for being part of the system. You can let us know what your thoughts are using the form on Cerulean's big announcement page. Why are you doing a phased rollout? Because we want to ensure that there are no big errors with your money. Money is very tough to deal with, and because there are so many different things that can happen, the last thing we want to do is ruin the entire project, or your entire project, by swamping sponsors with broken money requests. It's not that I don't trust myself, it's that it's a sensitive request. I want to make sure it works smoothly beforehand. Who is allowed in? As of right now, we've handpicked a selection of creators, including Lawful Masses. We are letting Lawful Masses in as the first creator, as they have been supporting sponsors from the very start back in 2017, and we are trying to give back to Leonard. As for you, you can enroll to be added to the queue for the next rollout using the contact form above. How can I support sponsors? Then you can give us feedback, ideas, bug reports. The more feedback we get, the better the site will be. You can sponsor Cerulean, and you can sponsor Lawful Masses right now. This is the homepage to sponsus.org, powered by Love, Coffee, and You. Sponsus is a new social sponsorship platform being developed from the ground up, etc. I don't need to read that all to you. It looks like we also have Alita, is that how you pronounce that? And Brandon as featured creators on the front page of Sponsus. So, first of all, big round of applause to Cerulean. This is pretty freaking cool, right? This is really, really neat. This was a dream. We thought about this back in December of 2017 with the Patreon things, and it's taken this long to build a robust system. And Patreon also did some corrections. They made some movements that made there was less of a fire and more of a smoldering mess. We've also had trouble with Patreon kicking certain political people off of their platform, which is weird. I might disagree with Sargon of Akkad occasionally, or maybe even a lot. I might disagree with Tim Pool, but that doesn't mean that they don't have the right to ask you for your sponsorship and have supporters and have a community. That's that brings up the Voltaire quote. I may disagree with what you say, but I will defend to my death your right to say it. Absolutely. I believe that 100%. I mean, I'm not ready to go give my life as the first offer of sacrifice, but if it really came to it, yeah, what's important is that we can have our communities and we can talk to each other, not that we spend our time hating each other in a divisive manner to marginalize our opponents. No. If our message is sound and our behavior appropriate, I think that is what will win if there is a disagreement on what's proper. I don't know that kicking people off of your payment processing service is the way to stifle or is the way to counter a message you don't like. Cerulean reports that the actual development time on Sponsus was about 4 months so far.
4 months and a bit. Well, it's 4 months since the start, but I took a month or two break to play games and just chill. I don't actually know
4 months and
time.
a year as well. I mean, the original idea was in 2017, and we had started work on it, and then things came up, and then didn't you revisit it this year, and you were like, or last year you were like, oh, all of this needs to be redone.
So I just pulled up our Lawful Masses profile. I filled this out this morning, so it's not entirely perfect, but I was able to get a icon and a background and open up tiers here so that you can support at the same levels that we have Patreon. I do intend to add an intermediate tier between $5 and $50, but I couldn't off the top of my head figure out what I wanted to give those people that was in between. Or we'll have to figure out how to adjust the rewards for the tiers. So if you are interested in our stories and you wanted to support somewhere other than Patreon, you can do that now. And thank you very, very much to Cerulean for this opportunity to be one of your first creators on your platform.
And if your question is, will we allow X and X? The answer is Probably yes. In most cases, as long as it's not illegal, and they're out killing people or whatever.
If Stripe will allow you, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't allow you. That's sort of the limitation here. I keep saying we. I apologize. I'm not trying to take credit here. I just feel like we're all part of the crew here.
So, Sargon of Akkad.
Sure.
Send us a line.
Now, if you don't want to be on a platform where Sargon of Akkad is allowed or whatever, you've got Patreon. So, I'm not trying to pimp them or otherwise sell their service, but they're the ones that are doing the limitation, and that's what I had a problem with. It's not, nobody's limiting lawful masses except YouTube. Patreon doesn't seem to have a problem with lawful masses. Twitch seems to like us. Twitter seems to like us. It's not that I think we have a problem. It's that I think it's wrong for Patreon to be the people messing with Sargon's income stream. If Sargon is a bad person, or if Sargon has a bad message, or, I am using bad. It's not a great word, but if Sargon's message was really that terrible, I would expect that he would have fewer supporters because of it, not Patreon would step in and kick him off. Now, I can think of a level where we would all want to kick somebody off. Think of the worst of the worst of the worst, and we probably don't want that on the platform. But something with sincere intentions that doesn't want to hurt people, like literally physically hurt people, that isn't spouting for actual violence or maybe the hardest core kind of pornography or something. Maybe that doesn't belong on Stripe, and I don't know what Cerulean's ultimate level will be for adult content. I personally do believe that really it's violence that should be limited, like actual violence. I don't mean depicted violence, and sexual acts. I don't see any reason why that needs to be anything more than an age-restricted thing. But Stripe apparently doesn't. They have a threshold. Yeah. So if you are an adult entertainer, you're going to have to talk to Stripe and convince them that you aren't a high-risk case. If you are selling one of the categories of goods on their site, which I don't remember what they all are, but if it's not illegal, there's still some fringe things that they don't want to be sold on Stripe without first clearing it with them. And first clearing it with them could certainly be code for, we just don't want you. I look forward to your feedback on that if you've had a problem.
Cerulean hashtag 7014 or sponsusorg@gmail.com for contact.
We also have a Twitter as well, which is sponsors_.
Because sponsors mistake.
Have a cat.
Hera, we'll have a cat. Would you like to feed here? Would you like to make the cat a little more docile? Hey.
The cat's
Hey.
just upset. Listening.
Hey. So thank you very much to our supporters. This is a community-supported channel. Thank you very much to our supporters on sponsus.org and patreon.com and twitch.tv. And even very shortly here, YouTube, we will also have the join button enabled. We did get approved for that. Thank you to our $50 plus supporters for the month of April. Thank you to John Steele, Gavin Barnard, Eevi, Andy, Kyle Mudrak, Verement, Tayne, Michael Pearce, Terry Crisp, Richard Fournier, Spirit Bear, Jan Negrey, Daniel Perez, Aspernari, Snorre Wisotzky, Sean McNamara, and Aetaric. Thank you very, very much for your support in the month of April. And thank you to the $5 plus supporters as well. You'll be scrolling on the crawl at the end of the videos that are made from this source material. So if you would like to support us, you now have a new option, sponsus.org, sponsus.org. It only requires you to have a valid Stripe account. If you have had trouble with Patreon, you might not have trouble with Stripe, and you can use our system then. Thank you very much to Cerulean for creating that from scratch. Go visit that at sponsus.org, and that's our show. I'm Leonard French, your favorite copyright attorney. This is Lucy and Kaylee, and in the studio with us today is Brandon and Cerulean, and thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Love you all. Have a great week. Bye.